Welcome in, folks, to another great episode of I've Got a Theory. I've got my repeat guest here, Fawn Liebengood, and she's got a new theory for us that I'm ready to hear because she didn't even preface me on what it is. So what do we got?
Okay, so something you may not know about me because we just met, but I love science fiction. I love aliens.
Same.
Yeah, my dad raised me on the 1950s sci-fi movies growing up.
Yep.
So I've also worked extensively in plastic prevention, plastic pollution prevention. So I have a theory that if we were ever invaded by aliens, that we would survive because there's so much plastic in the environment now that the plastic would kill the aliens for us, so we wouldn't even have to do anything.
So do you think that possibly we've created and have maintained a tolerance to plastics in our own system?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have? Okay. Because this goes along directly with Orwell's War of the Worlds, right?
Exactly.
Because a lot of people don't know. They know that story, which is it was a story that was done over the radio, and people freaked out because it sounded real. Because it sounded real, because they didn't know that there was fiction. So people panicked that the aliens were coming. But in the book, and probably in the movie, I can't remember what happened in the movie, but probably same thing. What happens in the book?
Like they just die
because of.
They don't say. It was like they don't specify what it was. They were like some.
Oh, I thought they did. I thought they said that they got infected by our bacteria and viruses after a few days, and because they didn't have tolerance to the things that we've created, immunities to or tolerance to over however long of evolution, now we can live with bacteria in our guts.
Sure. That
would probably kill a foreign species, right? And we see this happen historically, 500 years ago when Europeans came and killed all the Native Americans with smallpox, right? Because they didn't have that tolerance for it.
So it'd be like the same thing, but with plastics.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. So we're creating a defense layer for aliens.
Unfortunately.
With our pollution.
Yes.
Wow.
That's my theory.
My thinking is that as long as we're talking about aliens, because I'm a sci-fi junkie too.
Yeah.
I think aliens come here the same way we'd go to other planets, which is with our robots.
That's true.
Right. So I think they could send nanobots here to explore, get video, audio information, collect samples of whatever, and figure out what the planet's like. Because if they can get here, they've solved most of their problems. Right now, it's just out of curiosity.
True.
Because we're an interesting planet to see what kind of dumb stuff we're doing here.
Or it could be the other scenario where they've run out of resources on their planet and they're coming to take our resources on our planet.
Let's play this out because I like having this conversation with smart people. What kind of resources would an alien species want out of our planet that they couldn't get anywhere else in the universe?
Well, we have, like all of the minerals and stuff, like on the
planet. Any rocky planet is just made out of minerals.
What about water? That's a big one.
What about like these the moons and stuff that are all ice moons? Like the Saturn and Jupiter is like a chunk of moons that are just ice.
Well, so you love sci-fi, so you've seen The Twilight Zone, I assume?
I have not seen The Twilight Zone.
Really?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I've done the X-Files, and I've done a lot of UFO stuff, but I read a good chunk of sci-fi.
So there's a brilliant episode. I watch Twilight Zone every year on New Year's. It's my tradition.
Okay. It's a TV show, right?
Yeah, TV show.
Right.
So the old black and white version with Rod Sterling is classic. So
this is the one where the skeleton comes out?
Skeleton. Yes, I think so. In the opening.
In the opening scene? Yeah, so I've seen a few episodes.
Okay, yeah. So there's one episode where these benevolent aliens come to Earth and they just want to help us, and everyone's like, oh, what's going on? But this is great. And then they actually open up travel and they say, oh, you can come to our planet, and check it out. And so a lot of people on Earth do, but they find this document and they're trying to translate it, but it's hard because it's alien, right? And they finally translate it, and what they find out is that it's actually a cookbook for how to cook people. And so all the people that are on the spaceship are going to be eaten. So they could be just harvesting like us.
As food.
As food. They could.
Yeah, that's, we'll put that in the realm of possibility. But at this point, we're already cooking up meat in labs, right? So, and I would think that it'd be easier. I'm looking forward to when, they do the insect proteins. And the crickets and the mealworms and stuff like that, because I know environmentally it's a huge amount more efficient than cooking up a pound of beef.
Yes.
Right, in terms of thousands of gallons necessary. Yeah, I tried some cricket chips the other day, and
oh, how were they?
they taste like dog food. Yeah, it wasn't great. And my wife complained that my burps stank for a full day afterwards after eating some cricket chips.
I bet.
So if you were hungry and it was no option, you would eat it. But if you weren't, you'd be like, yeah, I'll stick with regular chips and take my consequences of not having cricket chips.
So you think aliens wouldn't even bother coming to Earth?
I think they would out of curiosity.
Okay.
I think the same way we would go check out another planet with organic material, because I think that, without proper spacesuits and without the figuring out how to solve the time issue of traveling to someplace far away, I think we send out the Voyagers, right, that have already left our solar system to report back what they find.
True.
Right, if we can figure out how to become a multiplanetary species, not just humans, but any kind of species on the planet, if we can replicate this someplace else or create a non-Earth space for humans to live, that'd be great, just in case or when something goes wrong here, right? One of the popular science fiction theories is that if something's on the realm of possibility, over the course of time and probability, it does happen. So one of the theories is like, if there's a chance that we could create weapons that are so strong that could kill everyone on the planet, and if there's a chance that some crazy person can get access to those and use them, it does happen.
Interesting. I would hope not.
You would hope not, but
yeah.
That's why we have these nuclear proliferation treaties that say that, yeah, we've got world-ending weapons available. We're going to try our best not to use them.
Yes.
But if all you need is someone on a cranky day to hit the button.
So what if we had aliens who did want to expand, and they were like, oh, Earth matches, the type of place that we would need to live, but there's already people there. Like, who's to say they wouldn't come and take over our planet?
Yeah, that's not impossible.
Yeah,
that's not impossible, but ideally, we could be useful for our creativity. Right? We're not really good at anything else. But we are good at creative thinking. We can think of creative ideas.
There's a lot of innovation.
Music, et cetera, whatever kind of wild stuff we can think of. I think that's helpful. I think we could be useful as labor. We're pretty effective laborers.
True.
But yeah, it's, we have to figure that out. We have to kind of, I wish that we use some of the resources that we spend for things that are non-essential, like the defense industry, which makes sense 500 years ago. But at this point, we shouldn't have to spend a humongous portion of Earth's resources protecting ourselves from each other.
That's true.
Right? Imagine if just a fraction of that was spent towards research and development, and how much further we could be if we didn't spend $600 billion a year on missiles and tanks and bombs.
And we have so many, too. After a certain point, it's how many do you really need?
No, they're doing it for the sake of business.
Yeah.
It's because it's a money thing now at this point, right? So having fear as a way to create a market for defense, that's kind of how this goes along. So that leads into a wormhole of theories that I have, because I have infinite amounts of them. But I appreciate your share on that. The plastics would kill the aliens. I mean, it's probably true. I mean, something here is going to kill them.
Definitely.
And it probably isn't going to be our guns and missiles.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
The technology's just not advanced. But plastic, I mean, it can be, the large pieces of plastic, the huge nets that you see floating in the ocean, down to microscopic plastics that you can't even see with the naked eye. You have to look at them through a microscope,
right,
that shed from your clothing when you wash it, or it's in the drinking water, it's in the air we breathe, the Arctic snow, and then it's all throughout the ocean and the water column as well.
I know, it's sketchy. Like I said, I like to read Nat Geo, and they're like, yeah, we're finding water in the Arctic that should have been never touched by humans. And then there's 1,000 particles per cubic centimeter.
Or when you go take a sub down to the bottom of the ocean, and what's one of the things that you find there is plastic. And plastic is a great invention, and it's so durable, but it's almost too durable because it's going to be there for forever.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's any one thing that's ubiquitous across the planet, it's plastic.
It's true.
Probably even more so than bacteria.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing a second theory. I'm looking forward to having you on again, especially since we're both sci-fi junkies and like to share theories.
You gotta watch some Twilight Zone.
I know, for sure. I will have to look into that. I think it was when it came out and I was too young, it's a little scary.
Yes, it's true.
It's a little scary, right? And I remember thinking that I was having nightmares, and I was like, oh, just avoid scary stuff so I don't have nightmares.
Sure.
But now as an adult, I don't have nightmares, so I might as well get the scary stuff in.
That's good.
Cool. Okay. I'll check that out. Thanks, Fawn.
Thank you so much.